wanted to speak on this because I felt like there was nobody saying what needed to be said. So I came to put my 2 cents on it. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Octavia, and I am back with another video. It's good to be back. It's gonna be consistent uploads just like before. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling very motivated, and in the next couple videos y'all will know why. Now, on my lips here is Crush on You Beauty. We are now selling on Etsy, so make sure that you go over there and check it out. Also, I do have a clothing brand called Be The Brand, and I have bucket hats, I have t-shirts for adults, women, and men, and I also have some t-shirts for children. I want to jump right into this video, and this video will be about the shooting death of Ma'khia Bryant. I wanted to speak on this because I felt like there was nobody saying what needed to be said, and that's what YouTube is all about, right? So I came to put my 2 cents on it, and we're going to get into the details, and then I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel and what I think about this situation. 16-year-old Ma'khia Bryant was killed on the same day as the George Floyd murder suspect verdict, and we was all paying attention to that, and then boom, news of her shooting death came out. Now, I'd advise any journalist or anybody who is really serious about reporting, I suggest you wait, okay? And I did have other shit going on, but at the same time, how I move is I wait, okay? And I wait for several things to happen. I wait for the video. I saw the video several times. It was a painful thing to watch, just like, I mean, the list goes on and on with names. Ahmaud Arbery, the murder on video, that really affected me deeply. And having to, I feel like, that's how I am, having to watch it over and over again so I can really get the feel of what actually happened. So I can really get the feel of how I feel. Now, a lot of journalists don't put how they feel on it, you know, or they make it a very general thing, hate towards the police. They make it a very general Black Lives Matter. I'm going to get deep into this, and I truly don't care how anybody feels about it, but it's always in respect to the victim. Police were called by Ma'khia herself, and she was stating that 2 or however many, it was 2, but I'm saying, however she worded it, there were a few girls that were trying to stab her, right? And there was a dispute going on. So we found out later that this dispute was happening between foster siblings. All 3 of these girls were our foster sisters. As the police, and this is what I observed, I'm switching over now. I observed the police arriving on scene. At that time, nothing was popping off. Everybody was getting their breaths in. You know, they was getting they energy back or whatever. The officer stepped out of his vehicle. That was visible. It wasn't like he was hiding, you know, it wasn't like he was crouching behind his car. He was very visibly stepping out of his car right by this whole dispute and coming towards all of the individuals that were on that sidewalk. It seemed like to me that immediately when he stepped foot right in the thick of the shit, everybody started fighting again. That's what it looked like to me. We are not shaming the victim. We are getting deep into it. See, a lot of people in 2021 are very sensitive, and they don't want to say the truth. They don't want to say exactly what they seen because they feel like they're being respectful to the victim. I have a duty, as a 24, almost 25-year-old woman, to tell the younger generation exactly what they did wrong, what went in their favor, how they could have did it better, and how to move, period. Because you see, it's not easy to make it to my age, whether you are a young black man or a young black female. Now, there was one unidentified male in this whole scenario. I want to know who that was. If he was the foster father, he did not do a good job at teaching them to love each other. He did not do a good job at breaking up that dispute. It looked like he was just in the thick of it and he was fighting back. He was fighting teenage girls. And I could tell he wasn't no teenager. And this dispute was over chores. Chores. I wonder how these other young girls feel now. So, after the dispute was cracking off and the police was right there, we visibly seen 16-year-old Ma'khia Bryant lunging at a few girls with a knife. Then, boom, 4 shots rang out, hitting Ma'khia. She was later pronounced dead at a nearby hospital. This is what I want to say, right? First of all, rest in peace to this 16-year-old girl. This definitely could have been avoided, and I'm not saying that I fully blame the victim. I'm not saying that I fully blame everybody that was there, but it's their fault. It's all of their faults. It's all of their faults. The only thing that I would say was wrong that the police did was shooting as many times as he did, and the placement of those shots. You gotta know that you're gonna kill somebody if you shoot them in the chest 4 times. I mean, I'm sure that there have been some people that survived stuff like that, but that doesn't sit well with me. And why I say that that is the only thing I feel that he did wrong was shooting 4 times, number 1, and number 2, the placement, because you could have shot her in the wrist. You could have shot her in the ankle. You could have shot her in the, I wouldn't even say shoulder, because that's really too close to your heart and shit like that. But somewhere else, you know what I mean? So that is a huge problem. I feel like this officer specifically, has only been on duty in the field for 18 months. And a lot of these new officers, they really do have a certain fear for black people. But that's something that we know, right? That's something that we know. And my thing is, even though there could have been another way, there could have been a shot to the wrist, like I said, something that she could have lived from, right? There are several things that I see wrong with what she did and what everybody did that was there. And this comes from a person that has been in and out of the foster care system. This is coming from a person that has had family violence issues, and I have physically fought my siblings. I mean, head up. Physically fought them. Police called, almost arrested. And I was about 16 or 17 at that time. So I definitely understand how things can get out of control, but it goes too far with this generation of children. I've never thought, even in a physical dispute with my brother, who he began to get bigger than me and shit, and we still got into physical fights. Even then, it wouldn't make me grab a knife. So that is a huge problem. Another huge problem that I see with this is This is something that just should be known, or it should be taught to these generations. It should be taught that once you call the police, you got to drop all your weapons. I'm talking about immediately when you call the police, because they're going to ask you, is any weapons involved? And you're going to have to say that you have a knife as well. But what it seemed like to me is Ma'khia Bryant did not relay that information to police. Yeah, there was information about a knife or knives, but she said that the other girls had the knives. So it's just like, period. Drop your shit. Drop the weapons before they come and they have to tell you themselves. Now, I believe that he did say drop your weapons or something. I could be wrong about that. This is just a euphoric situation. But another problem on the police part is you can fire a warning shot. And I'm sure, you know, because black people are very efficient like that, where we hear one shot and we're gonna be on the ground. You know what I mean? It's almost like instinctual to us. So that was something else that I just thought about that he did do wrong. You know, you could have fired one shot in the air or two shots in the air, and then if it kept going, shoot her somewhere where she can live, where it's non-life threatening. You know what I mean? Don't just shoot her dead in the chest and think that, you know, oh, I subdued her from stabbing somebody. Well, you just killed her. You know what I mean? And that shouldn't happen. But there are problems on both sides, and I want a lot of people to know that every crime that involves police versus a black person or black people is not a hate crime. There is some wrong that was done on his part, and I'm not taking up for him in any regard. I see it. I feel it. I'm angry about it. But we cannot ignore the wrong that was done and the lack of guidance that we seen. That just should not happen. It shouldn't happen. It is a shame, you know, wherever her real family is, I suppose they feel really guilty about this, you know. That could have avoided all of this shit. Or it would have been somebody else. It would have been some other girl who was trying to defend herself against these other females that she lives with. She can't escape them. You know, Lord knows how much this torment went on and on. I know how that shit goes. I've been through the same things with neighborhood girls, and you feel like it's never ending. You feel like it has to go that far. But foster care or not, y'all gotta love each other. I want y'all to know, and this is for any child, any teenager, you know, young adult, whatever, that's in foster care. Please love one another. Y'all don't even know, and that's the fucked up thing. Y'all don't even know how all of y'all got there. Y'all probably had the same situations happen, and it's negligence by parents. Y'all could have been really cool with each other and really made each other feel better, all of y'all. And look what happened. And that's why I say that I blame everybody involved. This was very avoidable on all ends, in all spectrums. So why we not saying that? I'm black. She black. I was 16. I wanted her to make it to 25, to 24. Y'all not talking like y'all wanted her to make it because y'all not saying what needed to be said. Y'all gotta say it. Just say it. It won't hurt. But you know what will hurt? Shit like this. It'll hurt a nation from a lack of guidance. It'll hurt a nation It'll hurt a lot of people. And I have a daughter. I would never want her to handle a situation like this or feel like she had to. But you know how that's avoidable? Of her ever being in a situation specifically like that. I never slip up. I never slip up and have my child taken from me. And have her not only taken from me, but grow up in the system. I was taken, but I didn't grow up in the system. My mom, thankfully, got all of us back. But that doesn't happen for every young girl. That doesn't happen for every young male, and I'm praying for y'all. I really am, because it's not easy. It's a sad time. That was a really sad time for me. And I got like a poker face with it, so I was trying to make other people feel better, and that's what you're supposed to do. Fuck the poker face shit. If you want to cry, cry, because that's what I should have did. I'm trying to handle that trauma now. I don't want no young girl to have to be at this point and have to deal with so much trauma. It's your girl, Octavia. Hopefully, young people everywhere learn something, because I learned something myself. And what I learned was you have to have control in all aspects, especially emotionally. It'll fuck people up even more than you grabbing a knife. I swear. Use your words. Using your fists, using your hands only gonna bruise you. It's not gonna make you better. Trust me. Trust me.